Healthcare in retirement. How much will you spend? A great article from Vanguard here, which we're going to dive into. And again, someone emailed me this as well. Lots of good emails that I get on articles. Some I read, some I just don't have time. Some are just, I just laugh, not because the guy sent it to me, but just I laugh because I'll get them multiple times, or just careful, buddy, or they're just the article is so over the top, which is why I think some of these guys send them to me actually, which is cool. I like getting the articles because I don't read. If you have a bunch of people reading, that just gives me more to read. I simply don't have the time to read all the articles, that's for sure. So much obliged. All right, so here's a good study from Vanguard. I'm looking for my little nugget. Planning for retirement and healthcare is probably easier than you should expect, says Vanguard. That's fantastic. Start by considering your personal information, your personal situation. How much is healthcare going to cost? Maybe not as much as you think. Today's retirees, let me get my phone on the charger because I'm getting ready to go down the whiteboard here in just a second. And I want to do a video with a fully charged phone. Today's almost retirees are confident about what the future holds, but there's one thing that worries them, and that's the cost of healthcare. Yeah, 100%. And no wonder. There are a lot of big, scary numbers being thrown out there. Fidelity. But let's be honest. If you add up your spending for... Wait a second. Is Vanguard stating... Wait, what is the date of this? Is Vanguard actually stating this? I'm stunned. I am stunned. If you add up your spending for anything over the course of 30 years... food, gas, vacations is going to seem like a lot. I don't see a date on here. I am stunned that Vanguard is actually stating that. That is fantastic because my whole thought process has been, if you're taking your trusty calculator, link in the show notes, and you times that by 30 with an inflation of whatever you want to call it, you're going to spend a lot of money on anything. The issue with healthcare is that it's such a low amount to begin with that it grows more because of healthcare inflation than other expenditures. But because it's starting way down here and other things are starting way up here, while the growth is higher for healthcare, the other things still easily outpace in real dollars, which is all that matters, healthcare. That's incredible. I'm stunned that Vanguard is stating this. Healthcare is important to plan for, though. If you're like most people, an employer has been subsidizing your healthcare costs all your life. So your costs may go up once you retire. But never fear. Most years, your healthcare costs will be relatively stable piece of your retirement spending pie, making them easy to plan for. I cannot tell you how stunned I am to be reading this. This is part and parcel of they're going to take away my ability to even have to do YouTube channels anymore because this is 100% right on. You may have heard that the true cost of healthcare is rising faster than the overall inflation rate. Good boy, Pablo. And that's true for a variety of reasons. Better technology and newer treatments hit the market every day. And that's a good thing. I'm going to share with you this article I'm reading on Alzheimer's. Oh, man, it's insane. It's insane how the dogma, the orthodoxy has disallowed other research other than one aspect to actually get any kind of wind in their sails. It's insane. It's almost like climate science. It's almost like health nutrition science. It's almost like plate tectonics. It's almost like Ignaz Semmelweis was saying, docs, wash your hands before you deliver babies. I'm telling you, man, it's insane. It's almost like the challenge to the SEC is the greatest conference in the history of mankind, so we don't even need a college football playoff. I say that because I know there's a lot of people in the South who love SEC football, and I love you. I just think there should be an 18 playoff, if not a 16 team. But anyway, our research shows that you can expect healthcare spending to double over the first 20 years of retirement. This increase takes into account that most people simply spend more in healthcare the older than they get. On the other hand, other expenses like entertainment and travel tend to drop over time. In fact, most people spend less overall the further they get into retirement. Holy crap. I'm literally agreeing with everything they're saying here. What affects healthcare costs for retirees? Here are the 6 biggest factors according to our research. Your health status. 3 questions to consider. Are you a smoker? Do you visit the doctor often? At least 10 times a year. Good night. Do you have 2 or more chronic health conditions? If you answer yes to at least one of those 3 questions, you should plan to spend a larger portion of your retirement income on healthcare. Do you visit the doctor at least 10 times a year? Man, that obviously that's a chronic condition, but man, that's whew. However, if you don't have any chronic health conditions and no family history, you've never smoked, and you don't go to the doctor often, you probably spend less on average. Your location. Yeah, man, I cannot stress this enough. There's a big difference in price tags between the most expensive locations and the cheapest. Traditional Medicare coverage is the same everywhere, but prescription coverage, Part D, and Part C, Medicare Advantage, Medigap supplemental plans, and private insurance vary, sometimes even within the same state or even the same county or even the same zip code. For example, premiums for one supplemental plan cost twice as much per year in the highest cost area than they do in the lowest cost area in 2018. Well, that's just because New York is a guaranteed issue for Medigap plans, where you don't get that in most other states, for instance, which makes it more expensive. The age you retire. Retiring before 65 sounds great, but it means you have to come up with your other coverage until you're eligible for Medicare. 100% agree. Some options stay on a spouse's plans. Charlotte took a full-time job at a CPA firm, so we could all have health coverage for sure. Stay on your former employer's plan using COBRA if you retire within 18 months before you become eligible for Medicare. Yep, we did that when I left USAA initially. If you're lucky, your employer may offer you continuing coverage as part of your retirement package. Talk to a lot of people who get that. It's awesome. Buy insurance on the open market or through a professional association. All states now have exchanges where you can buy coverage from private insurers, and many associations offer group insurance coverage. This is likely your most expensive option, unless you qualify for tax credits. So how premiums vary. What you're used to, $1,300 on a employer plan. Open market plan is $8,000. Medicare is about 3 times that what it was on the employer plan. I don't know. That seems, I don't know, man. The plans you choose, all right, so that seems a little bit high. Here we go. Let's go this. Your income. If you saved, these are IRMA rules. There's something else here though too. Hold on, right here. Here we go. Sample yearly costs for people who don't have additional premiums due to high income. Yep, right here. This is pretty good. So once you've taken all 6 factors into account, how does it shake out? They talk about how you can talk to Vanguard. I don't know about that, but anyway, sample right here. So if you have low health risks, you're going to have $3,300 for just A and B, and again, A is free, B is your $135 a month, plus your $35 a month for Part D. And this is for a chart for 65. That seems high to me. I guess they're saying, though, you could have some in terms of copays and stuff. I get that. That actually seems about right. So 30, that's pretty good now I think about it. So I use about 4,000 to 5,000 per person. So yeah, 3,300, divide that by 12. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, I actually use a little bit higher than that when I run my plan. So that's for a 65-year-old woman. She's going to spend about $3,300 a year if she has low health risk. A moderate health risk, about $3,900 a year. Add a supplemental policy. Yeah, there it goes. Right on. I was saying that right there. About $4,000 to $5,000. That's what Vanguard is using. About $4,700 a year. Right on with a supplemental policy plan. You could actually get one if you have a Medicare Advantage for even cheaper than that. But there are limits to that, so just make sure you understand that. If you're a high health risk, you're going to spend between $7,000 and $8,000. So we can just use moderate, so between $4,000 and $5,000, just like I said. So kudos to Vanguard. If you pay maximum additional premium charges due to high income, that's if you have IRMA. All right, so I'm not a big. I don't think the vast majority of us are going to be considering that. But if you have low health risk, you're going to see basically a triplet doubling right here. High health risk, you'll see not quite a doubling. So that's just because of high health costs, because the premium increases because of your high income. That's going to get worse as we go forward too. Don't forget about long-term care. Just did a video on long-term care. So that's pretty good. Let me hold on just a second. I want to see. There's another thing I want to look at. Hold on just a sec. Here's the white paper from Vanguard, planning for healthcare costs or retirement, where they use they get a little bit more detailed. And they're citing an article from this EBRI, which I like. The Employee Benefits Research Institute. The numbers are alarming. As presented by leading experts, the numbers are alarming. A cite from the Boston College study, $265,000 you'll have to spend on healthcare. So this is definitely written by a different group of people than the other report I was just showing you, because this one is a lot more fearsome and frightening. They're saying, look, oh my goodness, has modeled the Boston College Center for Retirement Research has modeled that amount individuals will need to have saved to cover premiums and out-of-pocket expenses for a typical 65-year-old will be $197,000. But if we go back to Vanguard, where they say right here, but let's be honest, when you add up the spending for anything over the cost of 30 years, it's going to seem like a lot. So two different people had written this. When was this? This is Dateline, June 2018. So it's different. It's different to me why they're. I don't know what they're. It's just a different way they're looking at it, which is odd. Anyway, so if we go down to here, we're going to show you, again, I'll put both links to both these articles. Median annual healthcare costs vary by individual risk category. So this is the median, and again, we're looking at 3,000 to 4,000 for just what the study just showed you right there in terms of what we're just talking about. 3,000 to 4,000 low risk, 4,000 to 5,000 high risk. 7,000 to 8,000 median risk is 4,000 to 5,000 medium risk, and high risk $7,000 to $8,000. But here we show you the different cover, supplemental plan F and supplemental plan N. These are Medigap policies. Medigap means that you see anybody who accepts Medicare, they have to accept your Medigap plan. Medicare Advantage is an in-network or a PPO to some degree, where they don't have to see you. I mean, I guess they could, but if you're out of network, you're going to foot a lot of that bill. Medigap, you pay more because you'll see any doc. If you're in Kansas, if you're in Alaska, if you're in Boston, any doc who accepts Medicare has to take you. So it's more expensive, but everybody's a network essentially. And so what they're showing you here is if you're a medium risk, with a traditional Medicare, you're paying $3,800, like we talked about. If you add Plan F, you're paying $5,200. If you add Plan N, you're paying $4,800. I think Plan F that they just got rid of? I think so. So Plan N is a G and N. Off the top of my head, I just can't remember off the top of my head. So just do some research. It's G and N now because I don't think they offer Plan F, but don't quote me on that. I think it's G and N. I think you want the G, but do your own research. Well, I like that. So they're basically saying $4,000, $5,000 depending on your risk. If you're medium risk, and if you're higher risk, it's going to be more expensive. They talk about worst case scenario, $20,000 without a supplemental plan. If you have Plan F, it's $11,000. You have Plan N, is $13,000. And so that's the 90% not likely to happen. So that's not too expensive. Presence or lack of subsidies for pre-Medicare retirees can significantly affect costs. So Medicare, they're saying at 65, you pay about $5,200. If you're a medium risk, if you're a bronze marketplace, you'll pay about $13,700 to include out-of-pocket expenses, including dental and vision. That's if you need out-of-pocket expenses. If you're silver, you pay about $12,800 and whatnot. Employer-sponsored plan, you're paying about $5,500. So I just a pretty good article actually. I like that. I don't like the fear mongering of the, oh my goodness, you're gonna need $5 million. Geography can affect a lot, and here they got the highest states, and you'll see New York is amongst the highest right there. That's going to be New York City right there. That's Connecticut. Which is weird because that has insurance companies are all in Connecticut. You think they'd give cheaper benefits to that. Washington, and these are all going to be the places. I'm not sure what's going on down here, but essentially these are going to be all the places where you have guaranteed issue for Medigap policies and whatnot. So that's why it's going to be most expensive, because they're saying annual premium for least expensive supplemental plan F. Here is that, I'm not sure what that is. Is that Iowa? Minnesota, right? Where's that? Wisconsin? Yeah, that's Minnesota. Was that Wisconsin? I can't remember. That's Michigan right here. That's Wisconsin. That's Minnesota. I don't remember. I just remember some of these states in the north and northwest and the upper Midwest have guaranteed issue of Medigap policies, which means there's no underwriting, which are going to be more expensive. So lots of good stuff here. I'm a fan. It's just, again, at the end of the day, let's just go back to what Vanguard said. it's not as much, it's probably easier than you should expect, and maybe not as much as you think when it costs healthcare in retirement. Put links to the show notes. Love to hear your comments on that. Thanks now.